find a location that's close to you, especially if you're very busy in your working life and whatever, and get involved in this work.
If there is anybody at any time that would like to go visit some of the villages, or just to come over and see how everything is operating within the office or anywhere else we operate, please feel free to reach out to us.
And if you have good character, you set a good example, the people around you, especially the close ones in particular, your progeny, is looking up to you. So if you leave a good example behind, your children will also do the same. And the children's children will do this, and it carries on.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to yet another Dawah Legacies episode with your host Abdullah Panjwani. And before we begin, or before we actually introduce our guest today, I'd like to mention a short story. The year is 2015. Around 2015, 2016, I'm going through one of my toughest times physically and mentally. And all of a sudden I get a call and an invitation from two friends to join them, to go nearby to a small place, to do a bit of da'wah, spreading the message of Islam. They come over to the house, they pick me up, we go to a nearby location, we help convince somebody to even accept Islam, alhamdulillah, and bring him back to the masjid. That, respected listeners, was my first introduction to iERA. And one of those two friends that came to pick me up is actually one of our special guests today, Omar Farook Kassam. How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. That is a very special moment, alhamdulillah.
I mean,
2015, 16?
Yeah.
Around that time, right?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Actually, I didn't remember that. You just mentioned it now.
It was Farhan and you, right?
Yeah,
I
I'm just trying to picture that when we picked you up and everything. I remember Farhan. I think we went in Farhan's car as well.
Farhan's car, yeah. No, that is a very special moment.
Yeah, so Farhan also, alhamdulillah, he's played a very important part in this, alhamdulillah.
I think we should call him next. Definitely. Yeah. He's on the list, he's on the hit list, So shifting gears a bit, normally when we have a guest on the podcast, we try to start on a light-hearted note. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a bit of quick fire questions. Okay? Sure. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Okay. Sweet tooth or savory?
Sweet.
Okay. And last but not least, skydiving or scuba diving?
Skydiving.
How was that experience?
Great experience.
Is it? You've been scuba diving as well, right?
No, I haven't done that.
Oh.
That's part of my bucket list.
Part of the bucket list.
Yeah, but skydiving was like priority. So alhamdulillah, that's done. And yeah, Mufti Menk was a good inspiration for that.
I remember ages back, the first time he did it, I still remember his Facebook post.
So yeah, I used to watch that video a lot before I went and jumped out. So that gave me the motivation.
Yeah, you've always struck me as that kind of a person that has that, that passion, that eagerness, that zeal, that curiosity to embark on new adventures, different adventures. Which leads me to the first question, that when it came to embarking on this da'wah path, just generally, with any kind of da'wah, what was the origin? Where did it actually begin? What sparked that fire?
Very good question. Alhamdulillah, when I was in university 12 years ago, over 10 years ago, 2012, 2013, I was really in my second or third year, and I used to come to Malawi for the summer holidays. That's when I met the iERA team here, and I knew about them, I had heard about them, and I had met all the legends that are here today in iERA, likes of Ustad Adnan, Imran Hussain, Salahuddin Patel. Mm-hmm. So I was introduced to them, and they were doing Dawah in Malawi, and I was free, for 2-3 months during those times. So I used to join them, and alhamdulillah, when I saw the work they were doing, I said, this is the work of our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They're doing what he did is to go and spread the message. La ilaha illallah. There is no worthy of worship of any deity besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the final messenger. So I said, this is what we need to do. So going back to the UK, I used to meet them often then, went to their office a few times, went to Hyde Park Corner, and seen them doing dawah there with so much passion, so much zeal, like the same terms you've used, and it was amazing, So I used to pick up Ustad Adnan sometimes, go out for meals with him, Yeah, I had a lot of
in London.
Yeah, I had good memories with him. And I mean, if you meet him, you can ask him. We've had alhamdulillah very good times, and I look up to him. Alhamdulillah, it's amazing. And I'll never forget his words that when I was slacking, a few years ago, and even recently, with our work life and everything, it gets hard.
Right.
But he said, "Look, Omar Farook, you're sitting on a gold mine. Don't forget that." So that words are still ringing in my head. So alhamdulillah, trying to push to do more and push for the Dawah. So, alhamdulillah, it's a really fulfilling thing to do.
Right. And like you mentioned, speaking of good times, you must have experienced so many different experiences, so many different episodes. One of the points that we really appreciate about you is how you personally take up the initiative to go to different villages by yourself, or ask people that where I can go to operate or to see where iERA are operating, and you go and check up on them, you go experience that feeling, that vibe, I believe sometimes with the family as well, right? MashaAllah. So I'm sure you've seen a lot, you've experienced a lot. Is there any one particular memory, one particular incident that stands out, something that might have touched you and really warmed your heart?
So I don't have one particular one. If you don't mind, I'll mention two.
Sure, go for
it. And before I mention them, I just want to mention like how you said that I go to various villages. This is for the viewers as well that are watching, that, I was struggling to do Dawah, right? Because I used to spend a lot of time in the car. So when we would try and do, like, as friends, said we have to do this iERA mission, Dawah, we made a WhatsApp group and whatever. So let's go out and do Dawah once a month. But then we all got so busy in our lives. And then when the time would come, the day would come, like, oh no, I can't make it. And you have to sit in the car long hours. So just for the viewers to know, look, I work in Chiradzulu district, basically. My workplace is there. So I went to iERA and I said, listen guys, I need a location. Allow me to go at least once a week. And alhamdulillah, since we implemented that, it's been a game changer. So just to let the viewers know, if you're working in Blantyre district, if you're working in Mulanje district, if you're working in Balaka, wherever it is, if find a location that's close to you, especially if you're very busy in your working life and whatever, and get involved in this work. It's the best thing ever you'll do, and you'll create memories which I want to talk about. Right, cherishable memories. So one was last week Friday. We went to Mulanje district, and we went with some visitors from South Africa that iERA wanted to show the work that they're doing in Malawi. And when he was explaining, he was a Maulana, one of the visitors was translating it, getting it translated by one of the Dais in Chichewa, and he was explaining about Jannah. And I had already given my word, I had already spoken in Chichewa to them, but the effect this man had on them was something else. How he explained Jannah, I could see them smiling, the locals. It was amazing. That really touched my heart. And he ended off by saying, Allah can make the impossible possible. How? We've been left with the most powerful tool, La ilaha illallah. And he kept mentioning La ilaha illallah, La ilaha. And he gave us examples of how Rasulullah sallallahu had, for example, he told us about the Battle of Trench, and when they were all very hungry, and one of the Sahabas had food at their house, and his wife said, you can call Rasulullah sallallahu and bring him with 10 others. I'm just giving you the mufrad narration. And basically, Rasulullah sallallahu went and announced it to everybody that there's food at this house. So the Sahaba got worried, and he told his wife, now Rasulullah sallallahu is bringing everybody. She said, if Rasulullah sallallahu has told everybody, then there's nothing to worry about. The impossible became possible. 300 people were fed from that house. Amazing. So I learned a lot. It was just a recent memory, but one memory that I'll never forget. Another one more I want to mention, that we have a lot of talent in Malawi, and you will only see it when you're on the field. So myself and Brother Shokat, who's also involved a lot in iERA, alhamdulillah, we went for Dawa one of the weeks a few months ago in Chiradzulu district. So we had done Dawa, so we did Dawa in the first week of the month, So now we're 2 weeks into it. It's a new village, and there's now new Muslims. So we, just like do a little test, for example, like show us how you pray Salah. This one lady came, and the way she did every step, I was amazed. In 2 weeks, how they pick up, how they learn Surah Fatiha off by heart. They know a surah. She knows all the 5 pillars off by heart. In 2 weeks to know Surah Fatiha, you are fresh in this thing. I was amazed. I said, there's a lot of talent, untapped talent in this country. And if we go out, we can find them, and Islam can become strong like before in this country.
Right.
Inshallah.
Like you mentioned, you've had so many experiences. I'm sure if we sit here, you can carry on and note down so many.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you probably have something that has attracted you the most to iERA, right? Because alhamdulillah, over the past few months, the past few years, you seem to have been going on a lot of village visits, mashallah. So is there any one particular thing that has really drawn you towards iERA and the mission that they do?
So obviously, iERA is doing what Rasulullah has left behind. Right? To pass the message, to share Islam. So they're doing it on a global scale. It's the only organization that I can see that is actually spreading the word the prophetic way. And that attracted me to them. I said, this is where I want to be. And the people that are involved, the legends that are involved in there, it's amazing. Like Amazon Sulsis was there, Sheikh Abdurrahim Green, Ustad Adnan, like I mentioned some of them already earlier. These are amazing people that have dedicated their lives, they've given qurbani to this amazing work. And then we got our team in Malawi that are really putting their full efforts, likes of Mudassir and them. I told you about Chirazulu district, which is closest to me. I went to Mulanji district last week, and they're doing the same thing. Go to any village that iERA is involved, they're doing the same thing. And it's dedication. And the locals are dedicated. They're coming to the class. They're attracted.
Right.
Not because they've been given food or money. They've been given a message.
Right.
And that is showing you one thing, that their fitras are intact. We're all born with a fitra, and ours are so exposed because of social media and whatever. They are so intact that they are leaning towards Allah, leaning towards the message. So that's what I really love about this organization. How they're doing it, the approach, it's amazing. And implementing it also ourselves, it's amazing. Using the GoRap method, for example, it's amazing. Just reminding me one more thing, because some of the methods we've used, I've applied it myself. That I've learned from iERA. So that same village where this young lady had demonstrated how she performed salah. Another memory, I just want to mention it. A very well-educated man was watching us whilst we were doing Dawah. I spoke, Uncle Shokat spoke, and the Dai spoke, and that place was vibrant at that moment. And then we said, who else wants to enter Islam? And this man put his hand up. I'll never forget. His name was Innocent. I'll never forget him. And we'll hopefully go and visit him again because he's nearby. He also came into Islam. I was amazed. The chiefs are coming into Islam. It's amazing, and the chiefs are willing to give land. They've given land at one of the places. So take this land, build a masjid, build a madrasa, build a school block. Alhamdulillah, it's amazing, man. And everybody should get involved. Alhamdulillah, everybody.
And that is, by the way, one of the most important points that iERA are very transparent with. If there is anybody at any time that would like to go visit some of the villages, or just to come over and see how everything is operating within the office or anywhere else we operate, please feel free to reach out to us. Now, regarding a few other points that I'd like to discuss. When it comes to somebody that wants to involve themselves in the work of Dawah, whether it's to join Dawah, whether it's to create their own Dawah organization, what advice would you have? Something that maybe personally, when you were struggling, when you were, like you mentioned earlier, when you were slacking a bit and Ustad Adnan Rashid gave you that bit of motivation, is there any kind of motivational quote you would have to give to somebody that wants to begin Dawah or is struggling and needs that bit of motivation?
Yeah, so, we all go through struggles. I myself sometimes go through a lot of struggles, and Alhamdulillah, we have our parents to console us and whatever. But ultimately, Allah is there.
Right.
Allah is there for all. Allah never burdens his soul. That's what it says. That you can't. He will test you on something that you can bear.
To your limit.
To your limit. He will never make you do something. And why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? He wants you to become close to him. You know, he loves you. That's how I look at it. When I see someone going through a trouble or a tough time, I say, look, Allah loves you. Don't worry. And when there's good moments, remember Allah more. And I try my best myself. I try and implement that. Because I know life is not just smooth. It's up and down, up and down.
Right.
So when I'm down and I remember Allah, I've seen it. It's happened. Allah is there for me. And when I'm strong, I try my best to remember Allah as much as I can. And also, to be honest, when I'm in a bit of a low, just go out for Dawah. You know, I did that.
Right.
One of the times I was so tied up and stressed, and there was so much happening. I said, you know what? It was in the morning. I said, I can't wait till the afternoon. I'm just going to leave everything and I'm going for Dawah. And subhanAllah, I came back and I just felt so good, man. I said, wow, subhanAllah.
It recharges the battery, recharges the soul, mashallah.
It's amazing, man.
Right.
We're so blessed. We're all so blessed. All us Muslims are so blessed. And whoever is not doing this, honestly, is missing out on huge blessings, man. And Allah is so merciful. It's unbelievable.
May Allah keep your passion and your love for Dawah always flickering
Ameen.
and always rising, inshallah. Now, tying into the name of our podcast, which is Dawah Legacies, is there any one particular quality which you feel is extremely important for a person to leave behind for the future generations?
Yeah, there's a few qualities, but you've asked for one. And the particular one I would say is to leave behind good character.
Right.
You know, because why I'm saying that is because sometimes you don't even need to go and speak to do Dawah. Your character, having good akhlaq, is Dawah itself. And if you have good character, you set a good example, the people around you, especially the close ones in particular, your progeny, is looking up to you. So if you leave a good example behind, your children will also do the same. And the children's children will do the same. And it carries on.
Right.
So when I'm around my father is my role model. I look up to him because, good character, honesty. Honesty, passion, consistency, all falls under good character.
Okay, so what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all broken down into that. That's how I look at it. So inshallah, I can follow him. My children will follow me. And it goes on. And Ajr goes to my father. My father looked up to his father. And it just goes on.
Right.
You never know where we would end up. Maybe at Adam alayhi salam. Alhamdulillah. But yeah, I think that's the most
important quality.
Important quality.
MashaAllah. May Allah bless you infinitely in your health, your wealth, your ilm, your time, and all the beneficial endeavors you choose to pursue in the future. This has been your host, Abdullah Panjwani. This has been one of the most special Dawah Legacies podcast. Alhamdulillah. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for even more exciting episodes. And on that note, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.